All right. So like I said, we're just going to make some botanical prints for ourselves based off of our favorite plant, whether it's one that we have with us physically, a picture of, or one we're just holding in our mind. We're going to make art today based off of that, and then spend some time doing some stream of consciousness writing about that. So whatever flower you have in front of you, I have the irises that I'm going to be working off today. And I also have some markers and pens and some tissue paper for myself. But know that whatever supply you have is exactly right. We're going to make art based off of our plant today. I'm going to spread my markers out so I can see them a little easier. And just like in the examples that we showed earlier, there's so many ways to be inspired by this plant. Maybe it's writing, just putting in those colors. Maybe it's cutting out images in a magazine to build it. Maybe it's drawing it and coloring in. Or maybe it's just cutting out the images of the paper we have in front of us. But whatever way you feel comfortable doing, this process is perfect. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but know that you can do this in whatever way you'd like. We're just going to spend time making art based off of that plant, right? Whatever plant that is. And I want us to kind of really think about that plant as we're doing it, thinking about the connection that we have to it, thinking about what it is that draws us to this plant. Is it a memory that we like to hang on to? Is it the smell? Is it because it's helpful and medicinal? Is it because it just looks pretty? Whatever it is, just kind of hang on to that and think on that as we're building these pieces. So I'm going to start actually mine with the tissue paper I have. I'm going to start cutting things out and kind of gluing them down. But again, however you want to do that is good. There's no wrong way to do this. I know sometimes it can feel a little intimidating having to think, oh no, how am I supposed to, like, what am I supposed to make? What mark am I supposed to do? Know that it doesn't matter. Whatever mark you make is good. Whatever piece you cut out, whatever color you use, it's exactly what it needs to be. Right? So I'm just cutting some pieces out. I'm going to kind of collage mine together, but know that you can do whichever. Maybe it's bringing those colors in and just cutting those pieces out. And while you're doing it, like I said, just kind of think about what it is that draws you to this piece, to this plant. I think I shared earlier, these irises remind me so much of my mom. It's not that it's my favorite flower. I don't even know what my favorite flower might be, but I like having that moment where I'm thinking about my mom. I don't get to see her often at all. And so thinking about her makes my heart feel good. So again, just kind of start constructing that piece, whatever plant you're working on, whatever plant you connect with, whatever feels good to you. There's no wrong way to do it. You know, in the examples I showed, people used colored pencils. They did super simple drawings, all the way up to very detailed. No, there's no wrong way to do this, right? It doesn't have to be perfect because it's not about that perfection, right? There's beauty in that imperfection. There's something nice about those flaws or mistakes that we see, right? There's beauty in that. And even if it isn't perfect, that's okay. We want to try to enjoy our process today. Kind of spend time thinking about what it is that draws us to this plant. I think a lot of times we have things that we're kind of drawn to. Um, I know there are certain colors that I decorate my house with, but I don't always take the time to sit down and think about what it is about that color that draws me to it. Does it give me a feeling? I know I joke around sometimes about how I wear black a lot when I'm making art. And it's so people don't see how messy I am. They can't see how messy. But I realize that I wear a lot of black because it's kind of my power color. It makes me feel strong, like I'm putting on my armor. But it's not something I really thought about before until I actually sat down and I was like, why do I wear a lot of black? What is it? And so I think there's something that's really nice about taking the time to really like think on this. Like, what is that plant? Is there a memory that gets associated with this? And I know, and it's okay if not too. It's okay if it's just because it's a pretty plant. And again, know that whatever you do, whatever you make, however you do this is exactly right because there's no wrong way to do this. Time to be inspired by this plant, whether you have it in your house physically, whether you um, plant it around your yard, hang it on your wall, or you just like the way it smells. Just take some time. Think about what it is that you connect to. So you're inspired by your piece, whether you're doing a drawing of it or a painting, just coloring it in. Like me, just kind of collaging some random tissue papers together. And I'm just kind of building my piece that way. I know it's hard to kind of let go of that idea of making it right, perfect, doing the right things. I want to encourage you to just kind of let go of that today. We're going to spend some time just kind of building our piece, putting whatever plant it is together, coloring, drawing, collaging, whatever it is. We all express in different ways. So we all have different processes that feel good and right to us. So know whatever way you're doing it is good and exactly what it needs to be. I'm kind of carrying on that tradition of botanical art by creating these pieces, whether it's based, looks exactly like your plant or not. I know my tissue paper doesn't look exactly like an iris, but it's kind of giving me the feel of the essence of an iris. Even if I have that shaky hand that I do sometimes, that those shaky hands or crooked pieces, that's okay. Those flaws or imperfections that we see, They make it what it is. It's part of that journey and part of that process. And sometimes we get really close to it, and we start to see those, oh, that's not straight, or that's too crooked, it's not symmetrical. But when we take a moment to step back and look at it as a whole, we can see the beauty in that, right? Those little so-called flaws or whatever, they make it what it is. That journey is important. And so whatever process you're using today to create your plant is good. There's so many ways to take this. There's no wrong way to do this. Okay? Whatever way you're doing is good. It's okay for it to not be exactly right. Just give yourself time to be inspired. And spend some time with it, being gentle with yourself. And again, whether it's coloring things in, cutting things, drawing things. This is a great way to stretch our problem solving skills too. What can we use to get the essence of this piece, this essence of this plant across? Maybe it's a combination of things. And again, know that there's no wrong way to do this. Whatever way you do it is good. We're just kind of building our piece up, being inspired by our plant, whatever plant that is. And while we're constructing it, again, just thinking about what it is that draws us to that plant. What is it that stands out? What is it that we like about it? And knowing again, there's no wrong way. And I'm just kind of with mine, I'm just building it with random tissue papers, constructing mine. And just kind of take your time with it. I know sometimes I feel like we always run out of time. Like like we never have enough time to really completely finish a piece. So know that you don't have to rush through this. Right? Whatever you do is good, and you can leave it unfinished or you can work on it later too. So if you're still building your piece, and I'm going to add more to mine too, but if you're still building your piece and you would like to, go ahead and get, I'm going to use purple. Go ahead and get something to write with. Again, you can always come back to this piece or continue working on this also. But I want us to spend just a moment while we've been building this. We've been thinking about what is it about the plant that we're drawn to? Is there a special memory that goes along with it? A feeling? Is there some? What is it? Does it bring comfort? Is the smell something we connect to? And so I want us to just take a moment, if you're ready, and start doing that kind of free writing we've done before. Remember that stream of consciousness writing is just writing whatever pops in your head. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. It doesn't have to be a poem or an essay. It doesn't even have to make sense. But as you're looking at your piece, that you're kind of building, drawing, painting, cutting, and you think about your plant, take some time to write it out. You'll be able to see what I'm doing with mine, but know that whatever you write is good. Let's just spend some time thinking about that. Whatever, and again, whatever you write is good. It doesn't have to make sense. This is just kind of writing stream of consciousness. Spend some time thinking, writing, putting that down. And whatever you write is good. It's what it needs to be. When you're getting to a stopping place, it's okay to go ahead and set things down.